All right, everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday daily Sidereal Astrology forecast for April 4th, 2017. So today we have the moon in Cancer, making this perhaps a protective day, feeling like we do want to connect to our feelings, maybe reflect on things from the past or get in touch with the past a bit, maybe spend some time with home, family, or with our health. So definitely with that emotional energy, we do have all that Pisces energy still, the Sun and Venus in Pisces. So there's this whole dissolving nature of things at the moment, as there has been, emphasizing the importance of letting things go. So these are two water signs. They very much do support each other. So we do have a bit of that harmony between what the emotions want, which in this case is the security of feeling, and what Pisces want, our conscious self wants, which is wanting to dissolve or let go and really find that inner peace. So it is, though, still the first quarter phase, which means it's an excellent part of the week to take action. If there's anything you can challenge yourself towards this first half of the week, it can be good to do that. And anything that does require steps or that willpower. Now, today is a sort of pivotal day with the aspects. Yesterday, we had Mercury trining up to the North Node. We've likely learned a bit about our life path, or wanting to learn about it, thinking about our path. So that's still a bit in orb here today, maybe some support with anything that is future related, us understanding about it or thinking about it. But going into tomorrow, Mars does trine up to Pluto. Very important aspect, and that's going to be strongest tomorrow, but the second half of today, maybe feeling like making some deep changes, something that maybe requires the confidence, the motivation, the drive to make those changes. I think it can probably go well. So we'll talk about that in a bit. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, but today I would say it's certainly a shifting day of still a bit of, ideas about the path, still about thinking about the path, and then also a bit of maybe feeling like maybe it's time to take some action, make some changes that might be deep to make, but I think we'll be willing to do that. All right, so let's go and look at this in more detail when we return. All right, so there's the moon in Cancer. Cancer's been seen in the past as a sort of root to the soul. The soul is sort of, you could say, housed in our body, right? So connecting to our body right now with the moon in Cancer, connecting to our soul, listening to our body, listening to that inner guidance, that intuition, and anything that does require a bit of the privacy, a bit of protective energy, and just having, so that we can have a greater connection to this more soft spot of ourselves, our inner self. And, if you think of what Cancer is, it's the crab, and the outer self has to have the barrier, it has to have the wall, it has to have that density there in order for us to, have a good inner being. So that's where the protective, private, it's good to kind of not isolate ourselves, but just have a bit of space so that we can connect to the emotional, the past, the reflective, all of this soft stuff in life. So that can be emphasized with Cancer, and of course Pisces. Yes, it's all about dissolving at the moment. There has been a little bit of more clarity with Mercury shifting out of Pisces these past couple days. So with our mind, with the things we're thinking about, probably more thinking about what do we want? How can we get what we want? How can we, perhaps muster up some confidence and some motivation, drive to maybe work on some things or do some things? So I think it's a great day for that anyways, because again, we are in the first quarter phase, which is a good time to take action, to take the steps. It might be challenging to do so. It might require the willpower. It might require initiating some steps. But again, this is a time where we do want to challenge ourselves to implement essentially the new beginnings that have been unfolding since last week. All right, so let's look at the aspects here today. As I said, a pivotal day. You can see Mercury trining the North Node from yesterday. Maybe feeling like we're still thinking about our path, where we're headed, where we're putting our energy. It might be about what we want from a passionate standpoint. What is it we enjoy? And that's been the North Node in Leo. So there's still a lot to learn about our path here today individually. and just thinking about it and that kind of stuff can bring insight, and that could certainly be supportive along the journey. So going into tomorrow, though, Mars does trine Pluto. Very powerful aspect, very supportive aspect. Two very instinctual planets. Mars, the planet that wants to, the side of ourself, that wants to remove obstacles, to make changes in the sense that it's what we want, and taking the action to, again, pursue and obtain what we want or what we need often with Mars, especially when Pluto's involved, because Pluto is also very, very deep. Now, the Pluto side to it is that there's likely some fears involved with this. There might be some changes that we need to make. And so I think it's a very supportive time to do that. It's still early today. I did just want to mention it because the second half it starts to go within that 1 degree orb. But tomorrow and Thursday, I think can be significant days for, again, initiating that change, facing any fears to perhaps do so. But again, with the trine, I think we are willing to do that, to make those changes, to face those fears, and do whatever it is here that we feel like we need to do. All right, so those are the two sort of in limbo aspects today. With the moon, the first half, we're still coming off of this T-square, what will actually be forming a grand cross once it squares up to Uranus. So the first half, maybe feeling a bit uneasy with a square up to Uranus. This isn't major. This isn't a major aspect like the other two I talked about, but maybe a bit of an uneasiness, maybe anxious, nervous is sometimes the case with squares to Uranus and the moon. So what Uranus has been helping us do is just like what the Sun and Venus have been helping us do is surrender and let go. All right. So I think maybe emphasizing that the first half, detaching, letting go of everything outside of our control can maybe help free up those emotions a little bit. But listen to that. There's something that I think the first half might be telling us that we need for our freedom. And it's probably letting something go of a burden or something psychologically, mentally, maybe emotionally. And as we let it go, it can certainly free us up. Then as we get into the second half, we do have a nice trine with the moon and Venus. So maybe there's some support with relationships, or it's easy to enjoy some things the second half of the day, whether it's relationships or maybe our values, the material life, things of that nature. All right, so that's the day in a nutshell. I would say, as a foundation to the day, it's Cancer. Getting in touch with that, again, internal aspect of ourself, listening to our body, listening to our soul, and getting a bit of that reflective time there. But still a lot to learn about our life path. What is it you're passionate about? What is it you enjoy? There's no definitive answer with it. It's still unfolding. It's a whole yearly thing, in fact, with the North Node in Leo, all of 2017. But there could be some steps in the right direction there. And then as we get into tomorrow, Mars trine Pluto, transformation, change, getting into the deeper aspects of life can help us be a bit clear about what kind of steps we may feel like we want to take later in the week. All right, so I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.